Hey guys, what is up? Random car video, but I did want to post on this. It's something that came to my mind, and so I thought I would hop on here and record. So today I want to talk about ghosting, and let me first start off by saying there's usually not a good reason to ghost. The only good reason to ghost is if it's for your actual safety, or let's say you've told somebody numerous times that you're not interested, but they're not taking the hint and they're just persevering, or persistent, and they're not taking the hint, or they're not taking the message. You've told them you're not interested, that this is not going to work, and they just don't leave you alone. In that case, those two cases, yes, ghosting is fine and warranted. However, besides those two situations, I cannot think of a single reason why ghosting is in any way acceptable. And if those two things do not apply and you have been ghosted, first of all, know that it's not your fault that you were ghosted. There's nothing wrong with you per se, and that basically how I see it is the trash took itself out. I have been ghosted myself. I have never ghosted anybody myself unless it was for those reasons that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. I think it's very selfish, self-centered to ghost other people, and I think as humans, even though sometimes it can be difficult to have those conversations where we have to let people know, hey, it's been nice knowing you, but I don't feel a connection, those conversations still need to happen. I will say, if it's within the first couple dates, that it's okay to do that by text message. You know, send somebody a message, just let them know, hey, it's been really nice knowing you, but I don't feel that connection. I wish you all the best in everything, you know? However, people ghost typically for a couple reasons. I think the biggest one is that they don't want to deal with confrontation, which as adults, it's part of being an adult is dealing with confrontation and having those difficult conversations sometimes. And I think some people are incredibly selfish, because that's what ghosting is. It's incredibly selfish to basically just leave the other person hanging to where they don't know what happened to you, you know? Let's say they sent you a text message, time goes by, there's no response, and you're like, okay, what happened to this person? Am I being ghosted? And then after some time you realize, yep, I'm being ghosted, you know? And what the heck even happened? And I think in these instances, the worst thing you can do is kind of replay and think, okay, what did I do wrong in the situation? Because you're never going to know. Even if you did something that bothered the other person, they don't even have the common decency to have that conversation with you and let you know. So it's meaningless to try to figure out the reason why you got ghosted in the first place, because you're never going to know. So you have to basically take it and, you know that it's happened, that you are indeed being ghosted. And the way I see it is that person honestly did you a favor. If you really think about it, that person did you a favor. Because can you imagine? I mean, some of you have been ghosted while being in relationships, and that's pretty terrible. Let's say you're ghosted in the first, I don't know, 5-6 dates. That's a really shitty thing, because you've already spent a great deal of time with that person. But the way I see it is the trash took itself out. You basically dodged a bullet, because can you imagine being in a relationship with a person where, you know, let's say something's on their mind, and, you know, let's say there's something that bothers them, you know, but they're not going to have that conversation with you. Instead, it's going to be left to interpretation for you, the other person. Let's say, you know, there's something that's bothering them, and they don't share that with you. Instead, they give you the silent treatment, or, you know, they expect you to mind read as to what happened. those are not the type of people that you want to be in a relationship with, because that is a type of relationship that's going to turn abusive. It may not physically be abusive, but it can be emotionally and mentally abusive, and can be extremely draining to your energy, your time, your effort. And by being with people who are not good for us, it takes up our space and prevents us from meeting the person that we should be with. So this is a really quick video. It's been on my mind. I wanted to post it, but just know that if you have been ghosted, you're not alone. You're not a bad person. Please do not read into and try and go back and forth trying to figure out what happened. I think that's the worst thing, because you're never going to get closure from that person. So you have to get closure from yourself that this happened, and go out and live your best life. I think, like, seriously, go to the gym, go take a workout class, go on a walk, go hiking, you know, go do something productive that's good for you, good for your mind, your body, your soul. Go take a yoga class, go do some meditation, read a book. Live your best life and focus on making yourself the best version of yourself that you most possibly can. And I will tell you, that person may eventually contact you, and I would encourage you to not reply. If that person has caused you that amount of harm and that amount of discomfort to where you're basically having to heal from that person and the way in which they treated you, that's not a person that you want to welcome back into your life. And a lot of people, it's not, some people do it not just because they can't communicate, and it can also be because they know that by ghosting you, it leaves that door open for them to come back later on. Those types of people often have avoidant type personalities. Some have narcissistic tendencies. You know, those types of people are toxic people that you don't want in your life. So again, like I said, don't blame yourself for this. Move on from it. I would encourage you to block their phone number completely. If you are on Instagram or any type of social media, to delete them from your Instagram, because you do not need to check and see if they looked at your story. You do not need to have the urge to go click on their story to see what they're doing. You shouldn't want to know. And if you click on that, it's going to make it worse. So I encourage you to please think about yourself, your mental well-being. This person clearly doesn't have the common decency nor the respect for you that you deserve, and they're not a good person. So again, you need to focus on you, be the best version of yourself, and you need to leave them. Just think of it, the trash took itself out, and that person actually did you a huge favor because they removed themselves from your life. They weren't good to begin with, so that better things can come into your life. So I hope this gives you some kind of help if you're dealing with this. It's not fun. It's not something that we should have to deal with, but it unfortunately is something that commonly happens. And so, like I said, go out and do you, and do what makes you happy, and just leave this person alone. They don't disturb the dead. Okay, bye guys.